basically based on social media.
Mhm.
Based on what we see,
Sure.
um, so based on what people are doing and posting, and we feel pressured by that sometimes.
You know, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's social media that like gives us the pressure. It is us who gives us ourselves the pressure. You know, I feel like the issue where it starts is like from like our upbringing, if I can just put it so.
Sure.
Like, as a young black child, like I don't think like we are taught enough how to accept ourselves. You know, and if we don't accept ourselves, we want to be the next person, and what does that lead to? It leads to envy, you know, and envy leads to pressure.
Because now you start wanting what somebody else has, right?
Yeah,
And not realizing what you have.
exactly.
And you not realizing what you have, you then go get something that you don't know if it's actually for you.
Exactly.
So you're now chasing another person's dream and vision,
Exactly.
and not yours.
Exactly. So I feel like right now we're just in a society where we're not like self-defined. We want to be predefined by the external entities. Like we want to be predefined by people, like the next person, if I can just put it that way. You know? Because at the end of the day, like if you take a look, we want to blame social media, right? But we should be taking accountability because after all, social media is just a tool,
It's true.
right?
And also, so one thing I've realized is people limit themselves based on what they see on social media.
Yeah.
Like also with me with us actually starting the podcast. When I think about it, actually, I wanted to start this a long time ago, and I had everything. But then, just because of what other people had, I felt like what I had isn't
not
enough
enough.
to push the quality that I want.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
which is a wrong mindset, actually. Now that I think about it, because I'm phone in a camera and record. I'm on phone in I'm move to phone. Sound.
Sure.
And I put those things together, make a podcast.
Sure.
But then always the big job is one day soon to get an iPhone 14 Pro Max
Yeah.
first before I can create a podcast.
Yeah.
So I can give quality image.
Sure. Sure.
Which is something that I saw on social media.
Yeah, because that's what's been pushed out there.
Yeah, also on YouTube, you watch videos, you see them in 4K. You feel that pleasure, you're like, yo,
Or, hey, another thing.
oh, shit.
And another thing is, like a knife, social media is a tool, like you said,
Yeah.
right? A knife can cut bread and help you become fat.
Yeah.
You can use it to butter your bread.
Yeah.
But the same knife,
Yeah.
you can use it to
To
other people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. True. Right. Like it just depends on how we use this whole tool. You know, that's within our hands, right? We can use it to grow or we can use it to destroy.
Yeah.
You know?
But I feel like there should be things that are in place that teach us how to use tools correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if social media awareness was something that was taught in school.
Yeah.
It is actually.
Or there's a thing.
It is through LO and stuff.
Yeah.
But do they talk about it?
They don't talk about it like that.
Yeah.
Because right now we are on social media right now, right? And we are talking about the importance, or rather the impact of social media.
Yeah.
So we are using it as a great tool to try and make people aware that this thing can actually come and become an educational tool. Remember when we had lockdown, there was no school, but there's social media.
Yeah.
And if you go to China right now, they use TikTok for what? For the education mostly.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world use it for
Sure.
So now, as much as this thing is mostly used for entertainment rather for educational purposes, that's what the problem is it's the people, not necessarily the tool.
Yeah.
You get it. You can't blame a gun for shooting somebody.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing that makes you fear a policeman and a soldier and feel secured around them. Knowing that, okay, this tool, which is a very deadly tool, is actually a good tool.
Yeah.
So now we can't blame the tool just because of what people used to do with the tool. The same way yeast during lockdown, people were making alcohol.
Yeah.
You get it? It's something that you can use to do what? To make maguinya, bake bread, do that, do that. You see?
Yeah.
Now, we cannot then blame the product, which is meant for our advancement, for us to move forward, as the problem. The problem should be, what is it that we are doing with the thing?
Yeah. And like if you take a look right now, like we are living in a society whereby we just want to blame other things, and we are failing to take like accountability, like we want to blame. At the end of the day, when we cannot take accountability for our own actions, or for our own thoughts or for whatever it may be, right? Like we end up falling into a place of like, at the end of the day, we end up falling into like a fearful state, chaos, grief, guilt, hate, and so forth, right? That is where everything starts transpiring actually. But actually, there is a scale, like I call it the emotional guidance scale, right? But I'll show it to you later. Like it's pretty educational. Like speaking about education, on top of that, right? You do know like learning is also like or let me just say education is also like it can also be like entertainment, if I can just put it that way, because after all, like if you take a look at this word entertain, what is to entertain, right? To entertain means that you take your time and you take your attention and you give it to something, right? At the end of the day, you are learning something, right? But whatever you are learning, is it something that you can do something about? Right?
Is it good or bad?
Is it good or bad? Right? But we'll talk about the definition of good or bad.
Exactly.
Like
it's another whole thing.
It's a whole story.
Yeah.
Like, but then at the end of the day, like, if I can just put it that way, like to entertain, right, is to give your attention to something. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever you're giving your attention to, is it worthwhile? Is it something that helps you grow? Right? Not just in terms of finance, right? Because like we do know, like we're not just how can I say, we're not just like physical beings, we're also spiritual beings, but that's also another conversation.
It's another conversation, which is a very interesting one also.
Right?
Yeah.
But then unfortunately, like people are given like the opportunity to learn, right? And it's just that they're reluctant to learn. And whatever they want to feed their minds with, it's something that doesn't grow them, right? It just keeps them stuck wherever they are, like in the same place. They don't want to grow. They just want to do the same thing over and over. They just want to be comfortable. That is why you should never want to be comfortable, right? You never want to be situated in the same place, right? So, but then getting back to this whole thing of like social media as well as its impact, right? You get to choose what you see on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Right? Whatever you decide to look at, whatever you decide to entertain, if I can put it that way, what is it growing you?
Oh yeah.
Is it? Or is it something that you cannot do anything about it? Because at the end of the day, if you take a look, right? If you can sit down and have a conversation with like someone, or and whatever the information that you have learned, and you cannot do anything about it, right? You have basically wasted your time.
You've learned nothing.
You understand? Yeah. Because remember that all we have is time at the end of the day, just in all honesty.
Yes, all we have is time.
Right? So if people learn to take their time seriously, and that's when they start understanding why they should pay attention to what they're learning, to what they're feeding their minds, right? Because at the end of the day, whatever you put into your mind, it's what you become at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
True.
On top of that, like, it also comes down to, it also boils all the way down to all of the conversations that you start having, right? With people, right?
When you meet people,
exactly.
Conversations you're having.
Exactly.
Is it about who is having the most money, or is it about how to make money?
And at the end of the day, like, we feel like social media is the one that's destroying our self-esteem. At the end of the day, it's us ourselves who are destroying our own self-esteem
by following the wrong things that we see on social media. Mara, it's by choice, as you said.
You understand?
Because you can choose to see what you want on social media.
Exactly.
However, that's not entirely the truth.
Yeah.
Because you see, right now, man, you don't choose to see everything.
Yeah.
Everything is suggested to you.
Exactly, that's true, right? But then you get to decide. Actually, I think I put it in the wrong way. Let's just say you get to decide what you get to entertain,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If I can just put it
Yes.
that way.
You decide on what you want to entertain.
Exactly. Like it's more like a lot of people right now, they have low self-esteem. They're afraid to do a whole lot of things. They are afraid of like being innovative, right? Because they say they're afraid of judgments, but you find that nobody has time to judge you. Only you are judging yourself.
Yes.
It's all in your head,
It's all in your head.
right? So what do you have to lose by just being innovative and just, outshining your previous version of you?
Just being you,
Just
making sure that each step you take is an improvement from yesterday.
Understand what I'm saying?
Because if you don't take a move from where you were yesterday,
Yeah.
you are basically going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to start looking at other people
Yeah.
and saying, oh, that's how you're supposed to move. Now you're no longer moving in that direction of going straight. You're now moving to the side. And you don't see that you're going off the path.
Exactly.
Because you're no longer on the path that you are out to go to.
Because at the end of the day, if you want to be someone and you hate yourself, basically you are feeding yourself hate, right? And at the end of the day, you find yourself preaching love, but you hate yourself. How can you give out love when you don't have it in the first place? You can never give out something that you didn't have. I mean, like, if I don't have money, I cannot give you money.
True.
Right?
True.
You have to give out what you have.
Yes.
Right? So at the end of the day, like, people need to learn to feed themselves with love.
Yes.
Right? And not hate themselves. Accept yourself first in order for you to grow.
Maybe it's because we are more focused on giving than rather having ourselves.
Right.
It's that thing of saying,
True.
For example,
True.
I want to have because I want to give.
Yeah.
Not that I want to have because I want to have.
Yeah.
So now, when it comes to love, we don't want to have love.
Yeah.
We only want to give it out.
Exactly.
And we forget that, you can only give what you have.
Exactly.
Sure.
And since you were looking at another person and saying, oh, their life is better, if I could have this, if I could have
start
that.
hating yourself.
And you have given yourself that hate, meaning you are now trying to overpower the love that's in you.
I mean, like, come to think of it, is there such thing such as better, or is it only something that we call different?
It's different.
You understand?
It's only better, I think, if only you are comparing it to your yesterday.
Now, that's the problem right there over there. Comparing. You have to be different.
Yeah, I can be different, but compared to myself.
To yourself. Yeah, that's true.
Because look at this. When I'm saying comparing to yesterday,
Yeah.
For example, yesterday I didn't have this bottle.
Exactly.
Today I have it.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
I'm in a better state because I can carry water.
Yeah.
Yesterday I could not carry water.
True.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So comparison is not entirely bad if only you are comparing to the right things.
True. That's quite true.
You get it?
Yeah.
But now, for us to be able to compare to the right things, we need to know what are the right things.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? But now, since we are no longer interested in morals as a society,
Yeah.
we are more focused on what you have, on what you're wearing,
Yeah.
on things that makes another person wish they were you.
Yeah.
Materialistic things.
Envy.
Does that also mean that we are actually pushing hate because we are doing it for the other person to envy us? Since when the person envies us, they have now deviated from being themselves, meaning fitting themselves with hate.
You know what I think? I think in this generation, the problem we have is actually why people don't love themselves, according to my personal experiences. There's certain people out there that push the wrong agendas through social media. And those that are unaware fall victim of mission. So let's say non-preaching lifestyle. Preaching lifestyle, they're going to come aware to everything. Because I'm doing that because I'm pushing something. Let's say a business, Forex.
Yeah.
But has a Forex, so hey, Forex lifestyle. I can buy an A45 every week. So people take that and misinterpret it by just as, hey, I want to live like this guy. Which actually builds up self-hate. which actually over time becomes something much more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because what will I do to live that lifestyle? Am I turn to a life of crime now?
Life of crime or you're gonna fall into depression.
Fall into depression, thinking my life is not enough.
It's
or
not
the
enough.
things that I have are not enough.
Not enough.
You know, like I think for people to get there, right? It's because people think life is supposed to be as they think.
Oh,
You understand?
Smooth sailing.
You
Not
understand
knowing
what I'm
that
saying?
the thought on its own is just fiction.
You understand?
Yeah.
But they forget that life will always be as life is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Life only gives you situations. You understand? You are the one at the end of the day who gets to decide how are you going to react to them, right? So if you are always fixated thinking that life is supposed to be this way, then that's where actually depression starts growing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And to think to come to think of it, like that's selfish.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, like, you are being selfish, more like you don't want to give life a chance. And if you don't give life a chance, life won't give you a chance.
And then you're gonna keep on fighting life
And you're going to keep on fighting life.
instead of living life.
You know, instead of you taking those situations and learning from them, what do you think is going to happen? You are being reluctant. You don't want to learn because you think that you know all. Because
Yes.
right now you start saying that no, life is supposed to be like this.
Supposed to be like
Since
this.
when are we the teachers?
I talk to the man in the mirror, he telling me this. I know that I fuck up a lot, I pray that you give me one chance to give. A lot of the consequences that I face, they be having me straight by the neck. Like the way that she kissing on me when I'm putting my fingers all over the ish. We don't speak about that. In the garden, I open the tap. When I'm done and I'm taking a nap, I appreciate where I be at. Pick your poison and go with the facts. Ish. Yeah, it's like bacon, I'm keeping it going. The flow got me feeling like I never voted. I came with a piece, heart on my sleeve and I'm making a beat. Man, I don't know how I'm killing this shit. Follow my soul when I hop on a beat. Got me just getting the shit that I need. Turn a pen to a page, I reminisce about the shit that I claimed. I had to get it out the block with the pain. The niggas tryna get the clout and the fame. They're not keeping it real, they faking most of all the shit that they do. They tryna get it out the gutter, I know. My heart is full of all the diamonds and gold.
I mean, like, after all, like, we don't want to give life a chance because we think that we know all. The moment we think we know all, we don't want to learn from life. And if we don't want to learn from life, well, I mean, like, it means that we are practically dead. You understand?
Because
Like,
you even had to learn to walk. You had to learn to
you understand what I'm saying? I mean, like, learning as well is what gives us accomplishment, is what gives us purpose, right? If you've got nothing to learn, then you have no purpose.
That's why you always feel like you are in the same place every time.
You understand what I'm
Because you're
saying?
refusing to learn.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, because in every situation there's something to learn.
Exactly. It just depends. It's more like right now. Take for an example. You are eating meat. Meat has got bones,
Yes.
right? So it's up to you if you wanna even eat the bones and you choke on them. Or you just eat the meat. You understand
And
what I'm
after
saying?
choking on the bones, you're gonna learn from that experience.
Hey, this thing we don't eat.
Next time you're gonna know not to eat the bones. That's how life works.
Or you're gonna eat the bones and chow them all and not even choke.
You understand what I'm saying?
Almost I can eat the whole chicken.
You understand what I'm
But
saying?
then, yeah, that's another thing. It shows. It comes to show that you can't compare yourself to another person.
Oh.
Because whenever you might choke on the bone.
Yes.
I'm not gonna put the pets are game down. Come to show that people are different.
When you magana unti agare ke ngihlwa na go like head of it.
Sure.
No tshwara so. Agare like
Really peanuts.
Sure.
But already if you try the thing, you
it will have.
or finish on this.
Uvele jalo ka bukhomu.
Yeah. You know,
And then guess what? You're gonna start preaching a message that meat is not good.
exactly. True. I mean, like, I mean, like, our thoughts have a way of causing chaos in our environment. How do I mean by that? Let me just give you an example. One, supposedly they say, come over to the mall, right? Quickly. You start panicking. right? You try to bolt, the application freezes or the battery dies, right? You say, okay, let me quickly go to the ATM and throw money. The ATM is out of service or there's a whole long ass line, right? And then from there on, it's like you end up being stuck, taking time to get where you're supposed to be, simply because you start panicking, right? I mean, like, if you take a look, haven't you ever experienced it in any situation or in your life, whereby you start panicking and everything seems like it's not going according to plan?
Definitely.
Right? But then if you learn to just calm your mind and understand that, okay, this is what's happening,
you're gonna be able to come up with a solution.
right? Of which it brings me down to, like, we are living again in a society whereby people are panicking. You understand? People like, they just don't want to take things in a calm and a sound mind, right? It's like, I want it now.
I want it right now.
Right? And when it doesn't happen, then what happens? They fall into depression.
Yeah.
They start hating themselves. And then what do they start doing? They start blaming. Oh yeah, it's because of me.
This one, it's this one.
You understand?
If blaming doesn't work, they retaliate.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If retaliation seems not to work, they think of other things. They think of the line.
And then retaliation comes with getting
Hanging
injured.
themselves. Yeah?
Retaliation comes with getting hurt.
Yeah.
Because once you retaliate, if you play with fire, you get hurt.
You
Yeah.
get burnt.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But then either way, man, like, when it comes to like social media, there's a whole lot of things. Like, it's all up to you what you decide to entertain and not what you entertain.
So it means. Okay. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, you remember, and as well as I also highlighted back then, like, where it also starts. Like, it starts from your upbringing. You know, if I can just put it that way.
Yeah.
Right? If you're brought up to compare yourself to others and not compare yourself to like to yourself, right? That's when you start learning how to hate. That's how you start learning how to envy.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you yourself, you've always wanted to compare yourself to other people and not yourself. You haven't accepted yourself because you feel like you're not enough, you know. And that's the whole reason, like, the way parents raise their kids, they should, like, watch out, like, how they raise them, especially from the age of 0 to 7. Because when a child reaches the age of 7, that's the age of reason.
Oh,
So they start using whatever they've learned between the age of 0 to 7 to start reasoning.
Reason.
Right? If they were taught, like, it's fine, you know,
They're gonna keep that mindset.
you understand what I'm saying? They're gonna start reasoning according to that. You know?
And they're gonna start using it as an excuse.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You see,
You understand what I'm saying? Words are very powerful.
Exactly.
that's true. People end up believing them and then acting upon them.
Exactly.
And then they start saying, it's who I am.
That's why
It's who I
But
am.
they were constructed to be that.
Exactly.
So it means that this social media thing, it's a mental health issue
Yeah.
because it affects the mind state of a person.
Yeah.
Because there are many things on the internet
I think
that can.
I think actually social media should be, let's say, I want to say limited, but then limiting social media would be a bad thing because certain people will be able to grow.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we can work around it. It needs you to be mentally prepared and mentally stable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Already past the year of reasoning
Yeah.
or something like that.
No. Most of us started using social media after a certain age because you couldn't get a phone.
But now it's happening. Kids
Now it's
have
happening.
phones.
Now
Yes.
that's a problem. But then it could also be the solution. Because if I'm raised while using social media, doesn't that mean copying around? Oh no. What to avoid
True. If it's introduced correctly.
if it's introduced correctly.
But the question is, what are you learning during that age?
Exactly.
Like, it all comes down to that, you know. It shouldn't, like, social media shouldn't be limited, if I can just put it that way, because everybody's supposed to just have their free will, you know, to do as they please. As much as everybody has a free will to choose, you know, what they get to entertain. Understand what I'm saying? So yeah.
Louise, better who laid the keys to this beat. Sound like I'm ready to eat. Nothing sweep, I man, it shit sound like a treat. So if I get, I'm ready to eat. High like a stove, could cook with no heat. It's why, man, I cook in my sleep. Wake up and then I reheat. Wake up, I'm sounding like heat. It sound like I'm ready to G's. Louise, bet who lit the keys to this beat. Sound like I'm ready to eat. Nothing sweet, but man, it shit sound like a treat. So if I get, I'm ready to eat. High like a stove, could cook with no heat. It's why, man, I cook in my sleep. Wake up and then I reheat. Wake up, I'm sounding like heat. It sounded like Bonaparte.
Jeez Louise, I think I'm too hot for these streets. Tell me if you disagree. Jeez Louise, I pull up and burn all these niggas. They looking all ashy and shit. Straight from the bottom, I came out the pit. Don't call the doctor, I don't need this.